What do you Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's book Nerdigan discussion video is Angel Fever by L.A. Weatherly, which is the third and final book in the Angel Burn trilogy. If you have not read Angel Burn, Angel Fire, or Angel Fever, or watched any of my book Nerdigan discussion videos on the previous two books, then why the commune artiste are you here? Please, go read the books. Watch the videos, come back here so we can talk about it, because you're not going to understand what I'm talking about at all otherwise. But here's the cover. I love this cover. I have a different version of the cover for my ebook, which has a picture of Alex, Willow, and Sebastian on it, but I like this cover more. I love the color of it. It's so vibrant. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. You can always look it up on Bang and all that stuff. But anyway, let's get to it. So this book was a lot better for me. This one is probably my favorite out of the trilogy. For some reason, I love endings, but because I love when everything gets resolved. But the thing is that what I really like about this book in particular is that, and some of the other books I have covered in trilogies have done this, or series have done this, is that they refer back to the original material, or from the first couple of books. Especially stuff from the first book of this series gets referred to a lot. So, so basically we have the prologue, which starts, and this is the second book in the series to have the prologue. The first, Angel Fire didn't have a it's Angel Burn didn't have a prologue. Angel Fire did, and so did Angel Fever, and I like it. I like how L.A. Weatherly uses the prologue for both books, and this one is no different. But this one is basically starting 3 days after the events in Mexico City, and they are almost out of the Sierra Madre, which is where we left off. We left off, like, I want to say like 2 days after. But anyway, so the border is in chaos on unmanned, and even without the border patrol, it was obvious there has been major earthquakes in the U.S. too, and whole swaths of the nation's electricity grid have been knocked out and the nighttime portion of the drive have been shrouded in the eerie darkness, and without a single light showing. Things were even worse in daylight, with panicked looting going on everywhere they passed, until Alex had decided to stick to back roads again. And it reminds me of oh, what is that series? It reminds me of the situation in New Orleans, or where there was all that looting going on after a natural disaster. And I kind of think that if you got to think about it like this too. What if the electricity grid goes out? What if the grid is down? I could see looting happening when the grid's down. So yeah. So the vast underground base they get to, which Sophie, Agent Kinney, mentioned in the previous book, is in Nevada, and it could support 1,000 in the desert in Nevada, and it could support 1,000 people for up to 2 years. And it just went on and on. A fully stocked armory, an industrial-sized kitchen, closets piled high with sheets and pillowcases. Like, they're set for the apocalypse. Like, CIA is legit, man, on this stuff. They turn on the radio, and Raziel is alive. Yes, we thought Raziel was killed by Charlemagne, but he wasn't. He wasn't. And this is what he said. This terrible catastrophe, but so not despair, because I'm stepping forward to offer my leadership. Those who do not know what has happened, I am deeply sorry to announce that the Safari Council has been assassinated in Mexico City. This vile deed was carried out by Willow Fields and her gang of angel killers, knowing full well that the Council had put down roots of energy in your world. She knew their assassination would cause the very earth to grow unstable. She is a deranged individual who hates the angels. She is the reason for the earthquakes that had devastated so much of your world. In the U.S., the following cities have been destroyed: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Seattle, New Orleans, Dallas, and worldwide news is also dire. We confirmed accounts of destruction of London, Paris, Madrid. There are no words for what happened, and cities have been leveled. Millions have died, and Willow Fields is at fault. She has done this to your world. And technically, that was you, Raziel, because you were the one that killed Isa, however you pronounce her name. But yeah, you were the one that killed the final angel killer, so we know you're full of shit, Raziel. And this is Raziel's plan. And well, the thing is with Raziel is if you read Bleach, it totally reminds me of Bach. Now, if you're not up to date with Bleach, you might want to skip this teeny little tidbit here. But or if you don't care, whatever. I'm just giving you fair warning. That Bach killed, not killed exactly. He literally, well, yeah, he kind of killed and absorbed the Soul King and was able to recreate the Cerate into his image, which it was so it would be fit for Quincy's. That's how he redid the Soul Palace, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. It reminds me of a plan that Bach would have. So here, let's get to Raziel's plan. So as you know, you currently have no power. Sadly, reinstating it everywhere is not an option, and we must conserve our resources from now on. And this kind of sounds like the California brownouts, too. And so selected cities are going to be transformed into bountiful Edens, where life will continue as before. There you will have warmth and electricity, food and comfort. Meanwhile, emergency camps are being set up. The military is providing assistance. Make your way to one of our temporary camps, and soon there will be glorious Edens for all. These are dark times, but a new dawn is coming. I will take care of you. And think of it like this. People are desperate. People turn to the government. And Raziel is kind of leading on a dictatorship in this, from what he's talking about. It's just freaking insane. And for the angels to be gone forever, they have to kill 100 angels. So then it goes to 10 months later. Edens are everywhere, and the best part about the Edens, the AKs were able to find people without angel burn easily because they refused to go to the Edens, and they built a team of so far of 94 recruits. And Seb has he has a girl that wants him, finally, because Seb deserves a girl, named Megan. And at first we thought that only Seb, this is what Willow says, at first we thought that only Seb and I could change our auras, but then we found out humans could do it too, and it took them a lot longer to grasp. Alex, Sam, and Liz hadn't found it nearly as difficult as the rest of the team, though. They've been trained in energy work. They've been trained in energy work, and Alex says he was a child in his father's AK camp, and where he learned to scan their ethereal level for angels. And I was like, oh, Alex, this was so sweet. I love Alex. I do. Alex says to this when this is over that he wants to find I want to find your mother. I want that for you more than anything, Willow. I don't care if we have to spend years looking for her. If we can, then we're going to do it. And based on a psychic feeling Willow has, Alex and Willow are heading to Denver, and Denver is an Eden and Raziel's location. And before Alex goes, he says, Sam, you're in charge until I get back, and Seb, keep training everyone on the aura work. And Liz, I want you to help out. I want you helping out the firing range as much as possible. And as soon as we're packed, that's when they're leaving. And they have satellite phones too, which comes in handy for an apocalypse. They found it in the communications room, were probably the only non-Eden phones in the country that still worked, which is crazy. I love how we're having these different points of view, because we're having Raziel's, we're having Alex's, we're having Willow's, and a lot of things. That one thing I like in the series is that it's all it's not just a chapter for each person. No, it's throughout the chapter, and I like that a lot. And poor Seb is tortured by his feelings for Willow, and that he senses Willow's love for Alex every day, and that's why Seb keeps his distance, because it mentions that Seb and Willow aren't as close as they were in Angel Fire. And Raziel, so basically, then we get to the Raziel chapter. I still love the Raziel chapters. They're my favorite. I love it. And I actually like the Alex chapters a lot in this book, too. But the Raziel, so we see Raziel, and we find out Raziel killed Charlemagne and put together a small army for months, now made up of Vasquel and his other angel cronies. And Vasquel was strictly right-hand man. And Raziel misses Charlemagne. They're like, oh, poor Raziel. And so basically, one reason I love Raziel's chapter so much is that Raziel gives us the most insight into what's happening and how the actions are affecting the world and all of that. But this is what he said. He says, this is his thoughts anyway. The destruction of the council's root of energy had also affected the ethereal world. Things have become jarred between the two dimensions, throwing them out of sync. And one of the new Angel TV programs and now they have Angel TV programs in the works too. That's how much of a cult this is. It sort of caught me. Angel Avengers was sure to be a hit, and it featured a small group who spent their lives hunting down angel killers, destroying them in new and inventive ways each week. Sounds like it would be a hit anyway. The news no longer had investigative reporting. The news was simply them reading stories provided by Raziel. Sounds like a dictatorship in North Korea, doesn't it? And 3 new Edens opened up. Since this was the announcement, or the news they told, Raziel told the newscasters to read. Cincinnati, Detroit, and Omaha, and 5 more were scheduled to open in the next month. And he had several in Canada and South America. Oh, excuse me. As well, as soon as he's going to be able to be ready to begin expanding into the rest of the world. And Raziel is still haunted by his memories of Miranda, which is Willow's mom. And one of his assistants is actually, or I think it's Jenny, is the one that reminds him a lot of Miranda. And then we have the Voice of Freedom, and this is the thing that I really like about the Voice of Freedom bit is that the Voice of Freedom kind of reminds you of talk show hosts because especially like Mark Levin, and Rush Limbaugh as well. It kind of reminds me of them, just the way it's worded and the rebellious nature. That's why it reminds me of that. And this is what it says: don't trust them. The Edens are a trap. If you go into one, you'll never come out. The angels are poisonous to us, toxic as rat poison. Do you know anyone who's seen an angel? Is that person well? Or are they sick and feeble and tired? This has been the Voice of Freedom. I'll be on again soon. Just listen and you'll find me. And, let's see. I think this is, this is Alex, from Alex's, point of view, I believe, as well. So dimly he was aware of the massive white dome roof of the Church of Angels cathedral just below the site. In the sky, the slit seemed to rise with light, though it were pink-stained clouds and angels. Even from so far away, Alex could see that there were thousands, millions, hovering in a shining vortex that faced the gate between worlds like a sideways tornado, twisting and spiraling far off in the distance, spiky with wings. The angels surged forward, starkly white against the sunset of their own world. As they poured through the gate, a sound came like a cracking of a giant whip. There was an explosion of light, searing the world into a faded reflection of itself. Alex wrapped his other arm around Willow, shielding her from as a wave of energy roared past, and he buried his head in her hair to hide his eyes from the burning light. So what happened was, and this is what Willow says, is she says this: Alex, the angels aren't linked anymore, and but she and Seb were unaffected. So it's something Raziel's done on purpose to protect them. He used the energy of the gate opening to sever their connection somehow, and I think some of them died when he did it. I could hear them screaming. Anyway, they're safe now. We can still kill any one of them, but to destroy them all, we'd have to kill them, and Alex would kill them one by one, which makes everything so much harder. It's like, fuck, thanks a lot. And it kind of, that was a total Fox move. I'm super serial on that. That was a Fox move, Fox troll move. And then Alex was sniping angels, and he got busted by a soldier. And Alex had been hit right through. Alex got shot in the arm, and the soldier is dead. And then we get to Seb's portion of the chapter from Seb's point of view, and he realizes he's in love with Megan. I was like, oh, Seb, I'm so happy for Seb. And when the separation occurred, and this is Raziel, Raziel had been standing in the parking lot of the Denver Church of Angels, shielding his thoughts expertly from the 100 or so angels whose presence he hadn't been able to avoid. None had guessed that he'd used the link they all shared to implant a tiny essence of each and every angel in existence, including himself, within the gate above. Which is really crazy. See, Raziel, it's sort of calming. It's all going according to plan. And then we get to Willow's birthday party, Willow and Alex's birthday party, because remember, Alex is a day younger than Willow. Yeah, it's Willow's birthday first, then it's Alex's. And Alex, I think, is almost a year older than Willow exactly. I think that's what they said. It was either a year or 2 years older. But anyway, and Seb and Megan were kissing at Willow's party, and it's like, about time. And Seb has been dating Megan for over a month now, and Willow is just, she's gelling. Yeah, she's gelling. Hardcore, she's gelling. So, and then Alex's birthday gift is a letter, and I have it written down. I thought it was beautiful what he said. He says, I'm not very good with words, but my grandfather wrote this for my grandmother, and it's always stuck in my head, and now it reminds me of you. Then I came to you with the sound of battle ringing in my ears, the screams of men I have known. Your touch made it fade. Now there are dark nights and sometimes darker days, yet there are also your eyes. They find who I am. They pierce through me like a lamp. I am pinned forever in your gaze. And speaking of forever, I do not know what will come, but my home is in your touch and in your eyes, and when you laugh, it lifts my soul to the sky and reminds me what could be. There is no greater universe than holding you. Then, now or forever. I love you. I love you today on your birthday and always, Alex. And I was like, oh, Alex, that was so sweet. And then Seb tells Alex he's thinking about leaving with Megan, and love that somehow I do love that Alex and Seb have become friends, and that is character development that people. So Seb will stay because they're friends, which I think is awesome. And Kara arrived, and Kara looks like shit, and she informed Alex that Brendan died. So now we know what happened to Brendan. So this is what Kara said on the Edens, because that's where she was. She says this, Alex, you wouldn't believe how organized that place is. It's the same in all of them, I guess. They've got different sectors, and the one you're assigned to determines how often you're allowed to be fed from. They put me in A1. Guess I should have been flattered. Only the young and good-looking people with fresh, pretty auras went there. I mean, we were popular with the Angels, not that anyone ever stayed in A1 very long. So yeah, it didn't take them long to notice that none of the Angels could feed from me. And I guess I piqued their interest a little. I spent the last 7 months in Austin locked in a hospital room while the Angels tried to figure me out. Yeah, your girlfriend's father, Raziel, was doing this. He kept coming all the way down from Denver to poke and prod at me himself. They couldn't read me. It drove them crazy. Drove him especially crazy. Especially, they strapped me down so I could struggle, and they'd hold my hand, and I could feel their minds creeping into mine. So cold and slimy, and over. And finally, they started using more physical methods. Since they couldn't get anything from me, they were going to use me at the Salt Lake Eden founding celebration. Like, look who we caught. What do you think we should do with her? Oh, noble Salt Lake Eden people. And then Kara actually found Coley in the lower sector where people were in bad shape. And Alex, Coley was there. I was with him when he died. He knew something. And then Kara recorded what Coley said, and this is what he said. You've got to stop Alex from doing it. You've got to. He's smart. He'll figure it out. It can be done. Like Martin always said. I took over where he left off back at the camp. I had to. Couldn't help myself. I didn't care what might happen. They took me so long, and I got so close. Then I got sick and ended up here. I just left it there. You've got to tell the Angels, Kara. They've got to fix it so it's not there anymore. If Alex finds it, he could do what Martin was planning. It's really possible. I'm sure of it now. He was always better with the energy work than anyone else. We've got to keep him away, or it could all be over. The Angels gone forever. Mark my words. This will be what finally defeats them. Nothing we're doing here will do any good. And then then Alex goes to the memory of what Coley's talking about, and what his dad said. Martin said was, "I'm telling you, I just need to be in their world for a few minutes, and I could defeat them." And what Alex said to him in the memory, Dad, come on, it doesn't matter what you sense. There's no way you could get over there in the first place. The Angels can change to their ethereal forms when they cross. If we tried to go through, it would just kill us. You know you know that. You're the only one who told me that. And then Alex leaves that night and tells Willow what's happening, and Sam is in charge. And Willow knows something's up, and she's going after Alex. And Alex jumped through the portal into the Angel realm just as Willow and Sam got there, and Willow feels Alex die. So we're left thinking that he died going into the Angel world. And this is really important to understand when it gets to near the end of the book, and it goes back to Pishar's vision. So, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But we find out from Raziel that he allowed Kara to escape, but her microchip malfunctioned, so the plan backfired because he was going to track her through her microchip. And angels are having suicide parties since they couldn't handle being without their connection in the council. And Reveal moved Lauren, that's what was her name, Lauren, because it wasn't Sophie, it was Lauren. Or, no, yeah, Jenny, I mean, it was Lauren. From A1 to A2 because she reminded him of Miranda. And Sam has stepped up as the leader, and more Edens are open in Knoxville, Duluth, San Antonio, Saratoga, Eugene, Toledo. And the Voice of Freedom he's broadcasting, and he says, the angel killers were our saviors, not our enemies. Go for the halo like they did. Do anything you can to get away if you're attacked. And Seb and Macon broke up, which was really sad. I was like, no, why? That's not cool. And the group of AKs that were sent out on their own were caught, and they let an angel get away, and Reveal broke Chloe, and now he knows they're in Nevada. And 1 year after this is 1 year later, after Alex's death, quote unquote, they got up to 200 recruits. And then the base because they broke Chloe and found out where the base is, Reveal sent his right-hand man and an army of troops to the base, and half the AKs are already dead, and it's time to evacuate. And Sam dies too. I was like, no, Sam, not Sam. But what Sam says is, to Seb, get her out of here, man. Please, man, please, man, get her out. Don't let him capture her. And then Sam dies, and I'm like, no, not Sam. I loved Sam. His character was so good, especially from how he was an asshole in Angel Fire and how he became a leader. I loved it, and you had to kill him, goddammit. And then this was really, really interesting. So they're leaving, and they're trying to escape, and Seb runs into his father, Zoran, and because Zoran revealed himself, he's like, you look familiar, and he realized that was his son, and he did say he loved his mother, and I was like, oh, and he says, I'll say no one's been down this way, and the Nevada base is destroyed, and most of the team is slaughtered. So they go off to the Idaho base. There's a backup base in Idaho, so they're heading over there. And what the Voice of Freedom says, if soldiers come to your dark town, hide, run away, fight, do anything you can to avoid being taken to an Eden. The angels are deadly. Whatever you do, don't trust them. And Willow figures out that Reveal is going to destroy Pawtucket. Yeah, Reveal's going to see how it's coming back. It's coming back. It's Pawtucket. And there's only 12 survivors out of 200. That's how crazy this massacre was. And Willow is heading to Pawtucket, and only Kara knows, but she's fine with it as long as Willow leaves now, and Kara is the new lead. So what Willow does is she hotwires a Toyota and is out of there. And Willow hit the jackpot. She got to Wyoming, and she motherfucking hit the jackpot. So she even got a 4x4. And then she went to Image's salon, which was abandoned, and dyed her hair back to blonde in Omaha, the way it should be. And also at the house there was tons of food, there was clothes, there was everything at this house in Wyoming, which is freaking insane. And then after she dyes her hair, Seb comes into the salon, and of course Seb followed Willow, and they made up, and Seb is coming with Willow, which I like that. I like that Seb is coming. Willow left Seb because she thought that Seb would be happier being there with Megan and all that. And Seb and they had problems in Iowa, but nothing they couldn't handle, so they decided to go through Canada and back down. And Seb and Willow kiss in a cabin, and I love how this is written. This is how I want my scenes written, is shit like this. And now I can feel our angels too. As the fire cast dancing shadows around the rustic room, they emerged above us and were buried in each other's energy, joined so deeply that I couldn't tell where one ended and the other began. And Alex is alive in the angel realm, bitches. Yeah, he survived it. And apparently, the water is fresher there than the water back on Earth. And what Martin's and so basically the angel realm um, is like a cleaner version of Earth, which I think is pretty cool. So what Martin's plan is, and this is really important to remember, is to tap into the world's energy field, connect with it, and they could bridge it back to our world and use it to destroy the angels. And the animals here had no fear at all. Like, they were just approaching Alex and letting them pet him and shit like that. It was pretty cool. And Alex runs into Miranda in the mirror image of Denver in the angels' world. And the ghosts were the part that went missing in people. Yeah, they were the part of people that went missing when they were severely angel burned. And what Miranda says here, she says, I don't usually come to the city anymore. There's someplace else I'd like to go, but then I sensed you and you seemed so familiar that I had to come. Yes, it's strange. It's as if someone reaches out to me sometimes and I've heard them talking about you. And when I sense whoever it is that's reaching out to me, that's where they're reaching to the Miranda by the lake. But I can still hear it. I feel it right here in my heart, in her heart. And wait, that someone reaching out to me was Willow. And it's really crazy that, so think about it this way. I guess people with mental illnesses and that are terminally ill, are a part of them is in the angel realm. That's pretty cool. So that means a part of me is in the angel realm. But, so the part of Miranda that's still in the angel realm is 21, because that's when she got angel burn. That's when her angel burn was that severe. So basically how it works is the more severe the angel burn, the more a part of yourself is in the angel realm. And and even though the ghosts follow them, the angels can't see the ghost, and maybe because of a faint energy signature. And that's really interesting to think about, that they can't see the ghosts at all because of the low energy. So I guess the angels can only sense higher levels of energy or medium levels of energy. I think that's really interesting. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's interesting. Let's see. And Miranda tells Alex that Willow is heading to Pawtucket and that she has been sad for a long time, and also that talking to Alex makes her think clearer. And it's just crazy how time in the angel realm and on the earthly realm is different. It's a lot slower in the angel realm. Something else to remember as well. Let's see. Miranda says, and this is really important, only Willow can use the angel's energy field, and Seb can't because he doesn't have anyone in the angel realm as an anchor because his mom passed away. So basically, if Seb's mom was still alive, her spirit would probably be in the angel realm with Miranda. And it goes back to Pashar's vision of Willow being the one to destroy them all. And you gotta love how visions work, because this kind of goes back to Goddess, or not Goddess, which series is it? Starcross, there we go. The Starcross series, where Cassandra's visions were different, where how they played out were extremely different from what they were expecting. And, let's see. Oh, here it is. Then she helps Alex get back to Earth, and she says, don't tell Raziel. It's obvious that Miranda's still in love with Raziel, and which is inside the Coliseum, and before Alex left, he ran into desperate angels trying to get out, but he gave them the slip, and Miranda said, Willow has to be in Pawtucket before she merges with the angel world's energy. And I love how it comes back to Pawtucket. And there's something else that makes it even better, how everything is tied in, and I love it. So, and I'm going to get to it in a second. But back in Pawtucket, every one of Willow's classmates has been fighting the angels. And we have a reunion with Nina, and Jonah's there. And I love it. And there are a couple, and they're leaving the town. And I love how Jonah comes back. I think it is fantastic. It's brilliant. Brilliant, Ellie Weatherly. Brilliant. Because we all thought that that Noah was just a coward because he left and he ran away. But it turns out, because I do remember he did say that he was given this, he was marshaled by an angel for a reason, and he wanted to fight back. So he just, I guess, was laying low until shit went down. But Jonah is the voice of freedom, and he came to Pawtucket to find Alex and Willow because he wanted to join them I was like, holy shit, he wanted to join them. That is awesome. I love that. Go Jonah. I love it. I love Jonah's character now. Like, Jonah's character is kick-ass. I love him. And after the quake, Nina was able to see the angels feeding from other people, and she became immune to angels feeding from her. And that's the key thing, because remember, we saw that Kara was being immune, and Raziel was also getting reports that the Mexican angels, the angels in Mexico weren't able to feed either, that these people were immune too. And it all ties into Willow. And the theory is Willow is connected since all of her classmates spent a lot of time around her and were immune to the angel's touch because they were marshaling themselves via connecting to her energy, which is really, it's impressive that she was able to do that. And it makes you wonder if Seb was able to do that. But if Seb was able to do that, then the people in the hostel that he met wouldn't have gotten angel burn. So it's all Willow. And Seb is no longer in love with Willow as well. And the other thing you have to wonder is if it has something to do with Raziel being the father, because as you've seen in past books in the hashtag AngelReadAthon and even this series, angels have different powers. So, and you'll see it more and more in the hashtag AngelReadAthon. Let's see. And Seb says he's no longer in love with Willow, and that he's basically in love with Megan. And thank God for that. Thank God, me Narcissus. And Scott and the 5 angels attacked 5 days early. And Scott, who was this guy that Willow actually had a crush on, he said, you know, everyone called you Queen Weird because it was so spooky how accurate your readings were. None of that crap matters anymore. We're all glad you're back, Willow. We've been hoping you'd come. And I was like, woo! And then Alex comes in an Eden, the Denver Eden 4x4, and the reunion, in an Eden 4x4 that he stole from Denver, and oh my god, the reunion is amazing, and I was like having happy tears, and I'm trying not to have happy tears now, and it was amazing. I loved that reunion. It was beautiful. And then Alex says, look, you've got problems. I waited until scouts were gone, the scouts were gone, so they wouldn't see me. Did you know you've got like 3,000 angels waiting to attack just 30 miles away? And by the way, let's see. What was I gonna say? By the way, Alex is a freaking legend amongst the AKs as well. So, or the poor man's AKs, I should say, the Pawtucket ones. And they, especially Scott is like worshipping him, like kissing the ground at his feet, kissing his ass too, I should say. And Alex explained to Willow he was in the angels' world, and the one that got away, Zeron, Seb's father, and oh god, now we're getting to the Raziel chapter, and this is insane. So Willow's picture, the picture that has been a huge, important piece of this story, because remember, Alex took that picture and he gave it to Willow, and then if it wasn't for that picture, Seb wouldn't have found Willow, and now the picture survived the explosion. Oh my god. And Pascal gave it to Raziel. And Alex explains what Bashar's vision truly meant. The quakes were the most catastrophic event our world's ever known on the ethereal level, too. What if afterwards humanity start trying to heal itself? Maybe people are unconsciously reaching out to the one thing that could save them from the angels, Willow. And this is Alex on the link. And to be able to connect with the angel world's energy field, you need a link there to ground you, and you've got your mother. A piece of her energy is there. You connect to it every time you reach out to her. And then there was that awkward turtle moment with Willow telling Alex about the kiss, and then he confronted Seb and about it, and everything's still cool with him and Seb, but yeah. And then Willow broke up with Alex. She was just so frustrated because he was alive this time, and he didn't tell. If he would have told her that he was going into the angel realm, then you wouldn't have had that problem. And I wish Alex would have said that. I wish Alex would have mentioned the plan in the first place. And Seb, she didn't want to tell Alex about the raid, but Seb actually did. And Raziel killed motherfucking Zeron after he confessed about letting Willow and Seb go and being Seb's dad. Like, no, not Zeron, not Zeron. And Aunt Jo came to Raziel. So Aunt Jo has angel burn now, that stupid bitch. And Charmaine was behind the fake. It wasn't the CIA. It was Charmaine who was behind the fake deaths of Aunt Jo and Miranda. That was like a huge shocker for me. And this is the second time I've read this book, by the way. So it was a huge shocker for me. And Aunt Jo said Miranda was speaking to Alex and repeated what she was saying to Alex in the angel world. So it goes to show, it proves the theory that if you have severe angel burn, that, and to the point like where you're schizophrenic, for example, like in Miranda's case, that their spirit is in the angel realm. And Willow was able to reach her mother through Alex, which I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Willow and Alex are off to Shakti Eden, so Willow can read Raziel to find the gate. And Raziel is going after Miranda. And Willow figures out where the gate is. It's the willow tree in Murray Park based on what her mom said. And also, it's the same tree that's in the picture that Willow has too. Or that same motherfucking tree in that picture. And what her mom said to her, it's a special tree. Someday I'll tell you the story of why you're named after it. And Willow, feeling her mother's spirit through the willow tree, Raziel had met with her here. And she basically, Willow was conceived at that willow tree. And the barrier between worlds was so thin in this place because her spirit had spent years just a hair's breadth away, yearning for the angel she'd been in love with. Aww. It's so sad, but it's so sweet, too. And all at once I could see everything. Mom was sitting in an armchair in what looked like a lake house, her blonde hair soft around her face, and it's too late that Raziel and Aunt Jo were there and her mother couldn't hear her. And Raziel noticed Willow right away as he kept feeding from Miranda. And Willow on the energy, so this is what happened when Willow was on the energy field, because basically Raziel was threatening to kill her mother as well. And this is what Willow said. I reached for the angelic field. It surged untamed around me. With the gate open, it was like standing in a howling wind tunnel, yet it was nothing like what Alex had described. The energy of the human world felt natural to me, and so did this. I couldn't take hold of it, though. It was too much, too big. And with a gasp, I craned for my mother's essence in the angel's world and grabbed hold, felt her grounding me. And in my own world, there was only one person. There was only one person, wasn't there. Even now, I reached for Alex and hung on tightly. Because when, I want to mention this, when I thought, when I got to the part about the anchor, I thought the anchor that Miranda was going to originally refer to was Alex. And, but it was just her. And then I kind of had, and I figured that in some way, some form, Alex was going to be an anchor. So Miranda and Alex are both anchors. And even now, I reached for Alex and hung on tightly. The turning energy calmed a little. I could sense patterns to it now. There were worlds within worlds here, power beyond belief. It felt as if I had to learn a new language in seconds. Even anchored, if I didn't do this right, it would kill me. And what Raziel wants from Willow, because she's holding on to the energy while dealing with Raziel, because through her mother's spirit. And what Raziel wants from Willow is, I want to manipulate the human's energy so that angels can feed without harming them. And they'll still adore us, but with no lasting damage. And in return, I will spare your mother's life and your own. And Miranda, her mother Miranda, sacrificed herself. She said, it's okay, do it. Don't worry about me. I will sacrifice myself for this. And let Raziel kill her. So Miranda is awesome. I love how Willow's mom ended up being important in this book to destroying the angels. I love that. I don't know what you guys thought, but I loved it. I love that L.A. Weatherly didn't forget about her. So, standing half in the angel's world and half in my own, I linked the two energies and dived into them. Raging power, but what had once been out of chaos now be tamed. I held on to Alex more tightly, feeling his love for me. And then Willow spread her energy to protect all of humanity from being fed from angels. And the gate sent all the angels home, and Willow healed the ether a little bit. But they will never be able to get to Earth again. And the gate was sealed for good. Yes, sealed for good. Raziel's gone and everything. And probably Raziel's going to be killed by the angels because it's his fucking fault. But you know what I'm wondering is, if she was able to put a little bit of ether back in the angel realm, I wonder if she was able to put if she could have put even more ether into the angel realm. I'm curious. I want to know what your guys' theory on that is. If Nerdigan's theory is on that. Do you think that Willow should have put more ether into the angel realm so that way they, you know, could still at least survive? Or do you think the angels deserve to be killed? Because one thing that you need to remember is in the beginning of, I think it was the beginning of Angel Burn, Raziel mentions that a majority of the angels did not like feeding from humans. They didn't. If they were able to, you know, if she was able to keep like a steady supply of ether to the angel realm and not kill them all, then and still, you know, keep the gate closed, I think that would be a completely different thing. I want to know what your Nerdigan's theory is on that. Let's see. And the gate sent all the angels home. Yeah, I said that. Willow and Seb's angels were beaten up pretty bad too, and their ethereal bodies were bound by tethers, unable to break free. Their angels couldn't fly anymore because Seb was badly hurt. And when Willow was in the realm, the angel realm, her angel self was getting beaten up by the energy, and her angel self still exists, but she just can't fly ever again and leave her body, which is really sad. I was hoping, I hate that happened. And 8 people died in the battle and Seb was badly hurt, and Willow gained knowledge about every living creature in the energy field, including half angels, and she found out there was a dozen and a half angels throughout time, but Seb and her had been the only one for centuries because their mothers had been severely damaged by angel burn, which is really interesting. I would love to know more about how many was it? The other dozens of half angels. I wonder if it was because of the angel, if they were able to be conceived because of angel burn. I'm curious if you Nerdigans are curious about that too. Ellie Weatherly, if you are going to do like an ebook or something like that, please do it on that. I would love to know. And Willow and Alex are back together underneath the willow tree, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And basically, the epilogue is 5 days later, and it's Miranda's burial. And Seb left to go find Megan, who was heading to Tulsa to see her family, and then go to Mexico with her and help the street kids left even more destitute by the quakes. And people were tearing down the churches in Eden. Yeah, motherfucker. And electricity, phone, and internet were back, and there was still a smell of continued existence of the Church of Angels, though. There was a teeny bit. It wasn't as widespread as it was before. And then Alex was offered to run the paranormal intruder division of the CIA, but he turned it down. I was so shocked that he turned it down. That would have been awesome. I would have taken that shit, but I guess because he had a lot of money saved from the CIA, from when he worked with the CIA, as long as the CIA opens up his bank account, he's good for life, man. And instead, they plan on traveling around all 50 states. And I think that's so sweet. And it ends with Alex. I love what it says. Ends with Alex saying, "Who said you're not psychic anymore? You just read my mind." Aww. But I love endings like this. I love how I would say that this book was definitely my favorite because there was this series anyway, because there was a lot more action, and I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like Angel Bird. Or not Angel Bird. Angel Fire was a little too slow for me, and that's why it's on my least favorite. But I did like. I would rank it probably Angel Fever, Angel Burn, and then Angel Fire in that order. I do love the series though. It's not my ultimate favorite series, but I do like it. I love, especially that ending is top notch. But anyway, I want to know what you Nerdigans thought about this series. What you think about this book compared to say. Especially compared to the Embrace series that I covered, and I want to definitely see I can't wait to see what you guys, Nerdigans, think about how compare this one ending to, say, the Pemron and the End of Days ending as well, because there's a little bit of coincidence there, because remember, if you haven't read End of Days, you might want to skip this part, Rafi lost his wings, and he cut off his angel wings, and he got Belial's wings back, and him and the Watchers are staying on Earth, and that Michael was elected, and all that shit. I would love to know what you Nerdigans thought. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. And also, please go donate to my Patreon so I can do more videos and get more books so I can make more Nerdigan videos. And and I will be seeing you guys in the next hashtag AngelReadAthon video, book Nerdigan discussion video, which will be Halflings by Heather Birch. Until next time, Nerdigans, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.